Disgraced former David Jones chief executive Mark McInnes is determined to tell his side of the story that cost him his job. With the woman at the centre of his unwelcome attention claiming $37 million in compensation, Mr McInnes says he's returning to Australia to defend himself. As for David Jones, experts Lateline Business has spoken to believe that Mr McInnes's behaviour while he was in charge may have caused considerable damage within the company. Andrew Robertson reports.
As Christy Fraser-Kirk faced the media to announce her headline-grabbing compensation claim, she spoke the words that will haunt David Jones for a long time to come.
I just wanted to be treated with respect.
The man who admits treating Ms Fraser-Kirk in a manner unbecoming of a chief executive officer also wants respect and is planning his day in court. Mark McInnes has released a statement saying he's returning to Australia and that I reject many of the recent specific allegations and legally I have no alternative other than to vigorously contest them, and I will.
The chief executive is the role model for the whole company. So if the chief executive's behaving inappropriately, it sets out a message that inappropriate behaviour is okay.
Mark McInnes is a management consultant who advises companies and their boards on at times difficult issues. She believes the results of Mark McInnes's behaviour would have been felt at all levels within David Jones.
It actually sets up a culture of fear, it sets up a culture of privilege, it sets up a culture where maybe the best people aren't getting the jobs, perhaps the best ideas aren't coming to the fore, perhaps there's almost a disloyalty or a dishonesty in a culture.
Melbourne-based Kevin Dwyer is a specialist in change management and agrees that Mark McInnes's behaviour would have had company-wide ramifications. He feels staff performance, particularly of young women, would have been affected.
If you've got younger women who are wondering about what an advance might be from a particular senior manager and wondering whether this is kosher or whether it is something that is a bit underhand, then they're not concentrating on their role.
Both Kevin Dwyer and Margot Cairns also take issue with this statement from David Jones chairman Robert Savage on the day Mark McInnes left his job.
Neither I nor any other members of the board were aware of any other complaints, nor had we observed any behaviour that we felt that we should bring to Mr McInnes's attention prior to this.
You'd find it difficult to believe that they didn't know. And you ask the question, should they know? And yes, they should have known about the behaviour of the CEO.
Tim Caplan is the managing partner at Australian Business Lawyers. He agrees that the David Jones board has not covered itself in glory.
Boards, certainly in a whole range of areas, no longer can simply say, we didn't know. They're held to a standard of, when they should reasonably be expected to know, they should know.
And Tim Caplan says there are some simple steps boards can take to try to make sure they do know what they need to know.
In similar ways to audit committees of boards, we'll have the CFO presenting to the audit committee in the absence of the CEO. Similarly, boards might want to establish, they probably already have many of them, human resources subcommittees of the board. They might find it's appropriate for the HR director to report to that subcommittee of the board, again in the absence of the CEO.
As for Christy Fraser-Kirk's $37 million compensation claim, Tim Caplan thinks both sides will be desperate to settle out of court as quickly as possible.